So nice to meet you all, everybody who's present today. I'm representing the Florence Classical Arts Academy. I'm going to write in the chat the website, so you guys maybe can, as I speak, you can browse and see some visual examples on the website of things that we do, as I'm telling you a little bit of the story and a little bit of the summary of what we're doing. So we're a private visual arts academy. We're based in Florence, Italy, and we exist since 2009. So it's been 15 years that we train students from all over the world. And the training is specifically in visual arts. So our main subjects, our main classes that you would take with us would be painting, drawing, composition, and artistic anatomy. Those are the four cornerstone classes. Apart from that, of course, curriculum has a lot more supplementary subjects that help to your 360 degrees understanding in visual arts. There's a variety of things that you would do in your curriculum, as museum visits, a quick sketch class, a technique and technology of painting, color science, copy of old masters, etc., etc. So as educational offers, we have various things that you could do with us. It's starting from short workshops that could be 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 months, all the way to 1 year program that is foundation year, 3-year program that is a diploma in visual arts, or all the way to 5-year program, which is 3-year diploma program plus 1 or 2 year master program. So a little bit more about the training itself and the approach that we use. The approach that we use is called constructive method. And it is something, let's say it's an approach that is very rare these days, unfortunately, because let's say it's this good old school in academic terms that really takes you through the whole base of what drawing and painting means, which means that you are going through a detailed study of how to draw something from the scratch. It means that you study proportions, perspective, anatomy. You learn how to build something that is 3D on paper that is 2D flat. So you learn all the universal principles that eventually form you as an artist, and you build your portfolio in these 3 years if you were to choose a diploma program. You build a portfolio that can allow you to go into very different career paths, because what we've seen in these 15 years of training students, that after the program that they do with us, different people really choose different careers in arts. So some people just become, let's say, painters, and they do just that. They maybe do portraiture or landscape and focus only on painting or on drawing. Meanwhile, other graduates really took a career path more into design, for example, some into fashion design. Some of our graduates work in film industry as artists. Maybe they build sets for film or sets for theater. A lot of the graduates become illustrators. So essentially, the purpose of this training is to give you the not only the knowledge, but also the skill and the technique, so you can be a visual storyteller. That's the main point of what we're trying to do when we teach our students, is to give them all the tools, all the knowledge, so that one day they can be independent, full-on artists and storytellers. Our teaching style, also important thing to mention, is in small groups, and we've set it up intentionally like that. So it's a small school. You would be part of the group of 11 or maximum 12 people. So each group is limited to 12 people. And we keep it in this way very intentionally, so that we really ensure that all the students, every student has a lot of time one-on-one with the teacher. So there is, of course, the part where a teacher does a presentation, and maybe in the beginning of the day explaining what you're doing, what kind of assignment you're dealing with today, what are the steps, what are the goals of this assignment. And those maybe our first 10 or 15 minutes of the class, and the rest of the time is really dedicated to going and just seeing you one by one. So that's how the class is set up. So the teachers really make sure that you're growing, that they check up on you and see what works, what doesn't, if you have difficulties somewhere, so that your progress is really closely followed. So that's just an important thing to know about the Academy, that this is a very, let's say, very, I don't want to say cozy way of education, but you will be in small groups. The students that we have really come from all over the world. We have very few Italians, although we're in Italy, but we have very few Italians. Mostly we have students really from everywhere. It's US, Canada, South America, Asia, Africa, everywhere. So you would also be part of the group that is extremely diverse in terms of nationalities, in terms of artistic backgrounds, and in terms of ages. We have students who are 18, we have students who are sometimes 65. So it's a very unique community where you have, let's say, all the possibilities to grow as an artist and also learn from other people and share what you know or what you can bring to that. Maybe we can go to the website. I hope you can all see what I see. Okay, so we are here on the website of the Academy, the one that I wrote in the chat. Here you could, in the section academics, you have the main programs that we offer. You see foundation year program and diploma in visual arts, master in visual arts, hybrid program, and also a program that we have in partnership with our partner in the United States, where we do analog training, so hands-on training. Meanwhile, they provide digital design training. So that's also another option. Important thing to mention that also, as much as you can take programs and courses directly with us in Florence, you can also study entirely online, or you can study in hybrid format, which means that you're doing some certain segments of your training from wherever you are. You start off from home, and then you finish the program with 3 months of intensive courses in Florence. So you only come for 3 months. So since a couple of years ago, now we have these options as well. After COVID, we have put a lot of the content of our programs online, and to our surprise, until this day, they're quite popular. We thought that after COVID, maybe it would all just die out as online education, because nobody will ever want to study online again in this life after COVID. But turns out that many people actually choose to still have that flexibility and study online, or to study at least in hybrid, when part of it is online and another part is in Florence. And of course, needless to say that for artists, if somebody has decided to be an artist in this life or to pursue a creative career, of course, Florence is one of the best places in the world to do that, because here you are faced with incredible cultural inheritance and incredible museums where you find masterpieces that are world famous. So for an artist, being in Florence and studying in Florence, of course, it's an incredible opportunity to not just learn from the school in which you are, but also to absorb everything that is around you, everything that Florence itself has to offer when it comes to museum, galleries, and various art events, exhibitions, festivals, etc., etc. So a little bit more maybe to guide you through the website, just to kind of show you where you can find things later if you want to browse through in a bit more detail. So homepage, where you can just read in general about us. about the type of accreditation. Type of accreditation that we do have is regional accreditation, so from Tuscany region, which means that diplomas that we issue are diplomas of professional qualification. So it's not equal to, let's say, it's not a degree, but it can be in a way equal to a degree within the accreditation system that is not national but regional. So, but in any case, diplomas can be valid in Italy and European Union countries. And of course, again, when we speak of diplomas for artists, diplomas are all nice and important to have. But for any artist, the most important thing, of course, is to have a strong portfolio, because that's the first thing that anybody would ever ask you after, whether you're trying to approach a client or you're trying to go further and continue your education. So portfolio is your main business card when you're an artist. So, and that's something we mostly try to focus on, to teach the students to build that portfolio and to be independent, to be their own art critics, to be a person who has enough knowledge and enough of expertise to even analyze their own work, to step back from your own paintings or drawings or compositions, and to be able to analyze it and to see what's wrong, what can be fixed, to give professional estimation for your work or for work of somebody else. So yeah, in academics, you can see the programs. So if you go in each section, you just will read a description of all the programs that we have. Here, there is a long list of workshops. So workshops are courses that are short term. They can be, as I mentioned earlier, they can be 1 week, 2 weeks, usually 4 weeks, very often 4 weeks. So, and those you can do throughout the year. So if, for example, you have an idea, but maybe you're unsure whether you want to jump in and do 3-year program, many students come and do 1 month and they just see how it goes for them. So they see how the school is like, what the teaching is like, how is life in Florence. So you can try it out first, maybe by coming for like 4 weeks. And then if you see that this is something for you, then of course you're super welcome to enroll to a longer program. So here we have e-learning space. So the online education that I mentioned. Here in admissions, you can find more precise information just about the calendar, tuition fees, deadlines, enrollment process, etc. So enrollment is very, very easy. Actually, since we're a private academy, we don't have any epic requirements. We do ask for students' portfolio, but at the entrance stage, it is more for us to get to know you really and to see what kind of art you've done previously. But in the entrance or in the enrollment for the first year of the 3 years or foundation year, you're not judged yet on your portfolio. So you can present whatever you have. When the judgment, let's say, comes into place, or when you're starting to be checked on your knowledge and on your performance, is when you transfer from the first year to the second and from the second to the third. So that's when you have exams, you have certain criteria to meet. But when you come in, the enrollment is easy. You need just to send in a package of documents that's about you, few forms to fill out, your portfolio, whatever you have to present, and you should be good to go. Here you can see faculty list. You can read about our teachers, their biographies, you can see links as well to their social media, where you can check out more of their paintings, drawings, whatever they've done and they're doing. And here, maybe I will show you some of the examples in the gallery of things that first year students do. So you can see some examples of some foundational assignments like sphere, geometrical figures for constructive drawing. There's portraiture, there's elements of architecture, some examples of still lifes done both in oil painting but also in watercolor. So here you can check out a lot of examples of what students do. As we go further on to the second and third year program, of course, your assignments become way more complex. You work with portraiture with hands, you work with full figure. And then the 3-year program ends with your thesis project. And thesis project is when you essentially put in one showcase everything that you have learned in 3 years, which very often is a multi-figured composition, where you can tell a story, again, speaking of storytelling, a composition where you can take a certain topic and really unfold it in the way you prefer, and to show all the knowledge, everything that you have learned in 3 years. Let me see if I can find a good example of a thesis project. For example, this one is a thesis project, and this one is a story taken from a book. It can be also any topic that a student chooses, from Greek mythology, from the Bible, from personal life. Here you see a few examples as well from the Bible, some of the revisited, or like, let's say, a remix or remake of some timeless stories, etc., etc. So here, I invite you to, later on, when you have time, to go to the gallery and just check out more in detail and see. There are a lot of visual examples. Also, our YouTube channel is very much alive with videos of certain demos, where you can see as well how our instructors paint, draw, and explain things. You can see also some anatomy examples, and so if you're interested in this kind of studies, I really encourage you to check out not just the website, but also our Instagram, our social media, our YouTube channel, to see in more detail what kind of training we actually do, and what kind of portfolios our students build and graduate with.